Hey everyone! Today we are paddling 6 miles on the Zumbro River, and it's Nina's first time in a boat. Stay tuned for some classic Driftless region rock features and some exciting Class 2 rapids at the end. Specifically, this is the south branch of the middle fork of the Zumbro River. There are so many branches of the Zumbro, they really could have turned this river into 2 or 3 different rivers. I'm starting where the Douglas Trail crosses the river at County Road 3 Northwest and ending at the Canoe landing in Oronoco. If you're referencing the DNR map that I will link below, this is mile marker 75 to mile marker 70. We just had several inches of snowmelt, so the water is higher than normal. The old stick the paddle in the water test gave me a depth of about 1.5 to 2 feet. Under more normal conditions, the water is crystal clear and not as deep, probably a foot at most. You'd be scraping bottom definitely in a few places. Luckily, on this section during this day, there were no log dams. I didn't have to crawl over any piles of downed trees. The way was entirely clear. The river would switch between being serenely calm and beautiful and playfully quick with a little bit of riffles here and there. Alright, here we go, rock and roll! Woohoo! Class 1! Look. Kind of reminds me of the Kickapoo. Beautiful. Whoa. Check that out. No, sit down, girl. somebody really needed a little break. So, making a pit stop on this island. There she goes. Ooh, scary water. Yow! Now, I want to talk about this last part of the river right as you are coming into Oronoco. I knew about this feature because you can see it from the bridge as you're driving into Oronoco. It is the site of a dam that used to be existing that kind of got into a state of disrepair. The city of Oronoco replaced it with this feature here that is about 5 or 6 shelves that under normal conditions aren't quite as exciting as they were today. The dam used to have a 36-foot drop, so that just gives you an idea of the kind of elevation decline that you're going to be covering. If you don't want to take this crazy feature, there is a portage to the left. I didn't notice it when I was paddling up to this feature because my eyes were kind of on the prize. I was a little bit concerned about what lay ahead of me, and I was definitely not looking for a portage, but you can see from the images in the video that it is pretty clear there's a path to the park that you could definitely take to avoid this, and I would definitely recommend you avoid it if you're a novice paddler. It is a little hairy, as you'll see. Okay, so now I gotta turn down the volume because at this point I'm realizing what I have gotten myself into and a few expletives were let loose. Each one of these shelves gets a little bit bigger towards the end, with the final one being the biggest right before you go under the bridge. So each time I go down one of these little drops, there's a big wave and a little bit of water gets in the kayak, and by the last one there's probably 2 inches of water in the kayak, so I'm sitting pretty low and I'm getting a little nervous, and a big relief when I finally make it through and I never have to do that again. Even though it did get a little hairy, I gotta say, it was pretty fun and thrilling. I may do it again someday, but without a dog who's never been in a boat and with a spray skirt, ideally, if the water's this high. If the water's at more normal levels, it probably won't be as intense, but again, you can always take the portage and completely avoid this feature.